Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials. Good morning, it's 6:30 on Saturday the 9th of October. Just making my way down to the land, and as always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Well, good morning, here we are down on the land. It's a bit of a grey overcast morning, not quite as cold as it has been this past week, which is nice. Very, very quiet in the morning down here. Little tweedy birds singing. Oh, and cockerel. Well, it's the weekend, which is always nice. Hope you're having a nice weekend. Might be a bit of a short day today. Well, in fact, I know it will be a bit of a short day today. Lots of stuff that I need to do away from the cabin and the land. But as always, I'll keep you posted with whatever it is I am up to this morning as we go through the video. Well, as usual, first things first, sort the chickens out. A little bit of mixed corn spread around there for them. They're quite content pecking away. Little red ones just come away from my feet. She always comes and sits right next to me to get a hand feed before the rest dive in. It is funny. Little look in the coop. There should only be yesterday's production, so I'm only expecting 5 or 6 this morning. Let's have a little look. Dark in here. You can tell winter's arrived. So a bit of light on. There we go. And we've got 5 in here. I'm guessing that's it, because they have got a tendency now to all pile into the same nest box. Yep, that's it. But, you know, can't complain. And I'm not. Right, let's get myself in the cabin. Had some quite strong winds over this past week, and that's evidenced by some quite large branches that have been snapped off. Difficult for you to judge on the picture, but that's a good 6 foot, maybe more than 6 foot length of branch that's come off this tree. There's a few smaller ones kicking around. I'm just busy gathering them all up. I just thought I'd share that with you. Well, good morning. It's the weekend. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you are staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend. It's a shorter day than usual at the cabin today. I have got a few little bits and pieces to do. Sort the chickens out. I'll tidy up in their coop. A little bit of tidying up with the planting, but not a great deal. Certainly nothing dramatic and exciting. Though I will be popping into the beehive at some point, just to put that chemical treatment in. Make sure they don't get overrun by mites during the winter. So really, it'll be a cabin chat and not a great deal else. There's an awful lot going on. There's a lot going on in the big wide world, and there's a few things going on with me personally now. I'll do something in a separate video rather than talk about that in the cabin chat, but all will become clear over the next few weeks, maybe months, I don't know. So we'll do that separately. In terms of the big wide world and what's going on, you can't now, even if you've just arrived by chance for the first time on this channel, you can't by now have failed to see the increasing number of issues in the news media, more in the news media now than before, and certainly out in YouTube and other kinds of social media. We're heading in towards winter, and we're potentially heading into this kind of perfect storm of lots of little things all occurring at the same time that could cause a big event to happen. I did get a bit of criticism last weekend. I've left the comments in the comment section because I do that. If I have any trolls or unkind comments, I leave them there so that other people can see them, and they might agree, they might not agree. The majority of additional comments indicate that the majority of people didn't agree. But it was all about doom and gloom. And why am I talking about all these issues that are potentially crisis for people or going to cause discomfort for people? And I'm like the normal news media, just an endless supply of doom and gloom. I don't know, I'm not on the other side looking at this as you are, to see how I come across and the general theme of my videos. I don't want to be the bringer of doom and gloom. I like to try and show everything that I'm doing exactly as I'm doing it, and hopefully there's stuff in there that isn't doom and gloom. Certainly the chickens aren't, and the plants aren't, apart from when the pests get them, and then I might go a bit doomy and gloomy, but I quickly bounce back from that. So yeah, I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. I was going to put a little survey out on the community tab about what you want to see or hear talked about in the channel. I might still do that if I can figure out how you do it, because I'm not a techie person. So I had a quick look, thought, can't see that, it's not obvious how you do it, so I didn't do it. But I'll try at some point to put out a little poll and see what people do think. But yeah, there is an awful lot going on. I was kind of drifting there down a rabbit hole. There is a lot going on, and people should be paying attention to it. And if you're a prepper, then you are certainly paying attention to it, because all of these things that are happening is exactly why we do plan ahead and prepare, or try to prepare, to minimise the impact of whatever the little crisis might be in our lives. And there is an awful lot. We've got the ongoing and really obvious issues with supply chain. The time it takes for products and services to get from the original source, wherever that might be in the world, to final delivery in our supermarkets, other kinds of stores and shops. The time is getting longer and longer and longer. There is a massive backlog in the supply chain, whether that's big ships moving stuff across the world, or whether that's trucks moving things from 50 miles down the road to your local supermarket. It's taking longer. Evidence of that, if you look at your fresh fruit and vegetables in the quality that you're seeing in the supermarkets, that's either as a result of a poor harvest, which is a whole other issue, or that's delays in the supply chain, getting that thing from supply to market. So yeah, whether it's ships, lorries, lorry drivers, there is a definite issue, and the media has picked up on it, and they are telling people that as we head towards the end of the year, availability will be dramatically reduced. The price of goods and services has gone up tremendously. Certainly food has gone up and is continuing to go up. As availability diminishes, price naturally increases. It's supply and demand, it's the law of economics. So prices are increasing. People are seeing that, and if one person that views the video isn't seeing it, I suggest they need to get out more and take a look around. Or you're extremely wealthy and it doesn't matter. But it's impacting massively on average people like me and you. Energy supply, whether that's the availability and the price of energy that you use to run your home, heating water, cooking, turning the lights on, or whether that's energy for the vehicle you drive, petrol, diesel. It's all going up and it's in limited supply. Again, it's a supply-demand, it's law of economics. If China is prepared to pay 50% more for gas, as in gas to heat your home or do your cooking, and they suddenly swamp the market with increased bids for that gas or that oil, companies are going to say thank you very much and divert the supply away from its normal recipient, my country, your country, to China. It is the way that the world works, supply and demand economics. So we're not in China, we're here, and we're seeing the effects. The price of petrol, diesel, natural gas, and as a knock-on of the price of gas, the price of electricity is all massively going up. Council tax, one of those bills that here in the UK we can't avoid, are going up. They're saying 5% every year for the next 3 years as a starting point. So there's an awful lot going on. And I've not even touched on what is real doom and gloom that's popping up in the media now about, are we going to go to war with China or Russia or anybody else? Awful lot going on. The weather, you've heard me talk endlessly and complain endlessly this year about the state of the weather. It's been unusually cold at the start of the year. It's been really unusually hot through most of the year. We've had a distinct lack of rain. Then all of a sudden, as we head towards the end of the year, we've had flash floods. And the forecasts are out there that this winter in particular is going to be a really harsh winter. I touched on that a few weeks ago, I think, in a video when I talked about some YouTube weather forecasting channels. That's now popped up in mainstream media. There was an article in a newspaper only this week saying exactly the same thing. They're forecasting this year will be much harsher and colder than usual. So there's an awful lot of little one-off things that usually we would ride over fairly smoothly, simply, and without too much disruption. But these are all coming at the same time. Everything's coming together. Even if you want to go down the COVID route, whilst that might be tapering off, if the news media ever lets go of that story, we've got normal winter flu season. So there is massive amounts of things going on, all of which are combining. And I suspect as we head through winter, it's going to be massively difficult for all of those reasons that I've just given. And I've not even touched on the economy and the effect of COVID on the economy. Governments are now starting to realise that they're in deep duty financially, and they're looking for ways to try and cut back or to rake in more tax. The list is almost endless. I could sit here for hours and talk about each one of those in turn as to why it's unusual and the problem is potentially bigger than we might have seen in similar incidents over the last few years. But I won't talk for hours, unless of course you want me to. And if you do, you need to let me know in the comment section. I do depend on your comments to kind of guide me as to what it is that you're particularly interested in. And whilst I don't have, well, right now I don't have sufficient time to make endless videos every day, I do try to be guided by those comments. So do let me know in the comment section what you think I should be talking about. If there's anything special that you want to do a separate video on, or a cabin chat on. Live streams, I did try those last year before COVID. They are difficult to do if you're going to work as well, to try and get the time right to suit everybody, because there are different countries that view the channel. But I'm open to suggestions. I've said it a lot lately, and I'll say it again. Don't imagine that these things are just going to disappear and you're going to come out the other end unscathed. Unless you're a multi-billionaire, you are going to be impacted by one or more of the things that I've just mentioned. Everything is available right now in the shops. There are shortages in some things. I saw only last night when I went to do my normal little weekly shop. Toiletries, short supply. Over-the-counter medicines, short supply. Rice and pasta, definitely gone up. I wouldn't say a short supply, but not as plentiful, and the selection not as plentiful as usual. Vegetables and fruits, definitely quality issues there, and availability issues. I was struggling to find cauliflower, and when I did eventually find one in one of the shops, it was like that big. So people are going to be impacted. We are definitely all going to feel the effects of one or more of these things. And really, I just urge everybody to try and hedge the bets, try to set aside something as a buffer, so that as it does get worse, which it will, you are insulated or protected to a degree from whichever of those you want to take a look at. Do stock up on food. Do think about alternative sources of heat or energy over winter. Try and cut back on unnecessary spending. I know that's not a nice topic for people, especially nowadays. But instead of splurging on non-essential things, try and save that money, because you're going to get a shock with your gas and electric bills for sure as we head into winter. If you haven't already, lots of people have. You're going to get a shock with your council tax bill as we go into next year. So try and plan ahead a little bit for these things, because they are, well, some of them are here already. They are definitely coming, or they're going to get worse. It isn't doom and gloom. I apologise if it comes across to some people like that, but it's not. I'm trying to be positive, actually, and say, look, there are things you can do to avoid a calamity down the road. So why not just have a little think about it? Don't get all depressed about it, but have a little think about the positive things that you could do to make a difference and to ease the impact on you and your family. Anyway, that's a lot of stuff in a wanna for you to think about, and I get that, but it is worth investing a bit of time to think about it, and a little bit of effort to try and do something about it. You'll thank me later. Anyway, enough of this. There are other things that I want to talk about, but not in this video today. I will do a separate video on those topics, whether it's this weekend or sometime next week. I'm not quite sure yet. Outside of the little peace and tranquility I get here, I am like a swan pedalling underwater. You just can't see it from the surface, because I've got a lot of stuff kicking around in the background. What are you up to? Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you are staying safe and well. And I hope you are enjoying your weekend. As I said earlier, do let me know what it is that you're up to. Anything to do with prepping, self-sufficiency, state of the world. How are things in your area? What are you doing to get yourself organised and prepared and have some kind of insurance policy or buffer against all of these different things that are going on? It might give me some food for thought. I might get a suggestion that will help me. But more importantly, there are a lot of people, well, not as many as some channels, granted, but there are still a lot of people who do view the videos, who do read through the comments, and you could help them with your comments, tips, suggestions. So do please leave a comment, and to help me with YouTube, which seems to be having an ongoing battle with preparedness, self-sufficiency style channels. I've seen a few that have had strikes and had temporary blocks or bans on YouTube, and these are not radical hardcore people putting out fake news or suggestions of overthrowing the government. They're just regular channels that actually put out some really good content and advice for people, and yet they're getting blocked, banned, demonetised a lot. So the more thumbs up you can give, the more shares to videos. If you find something really interesting you think others would find valuable, do share it. The more activity on the channel, the more the channel is promoted by YouTube, and then it's seen by more people. And that's really why I do this. It's not for me particularly. It does take an awful lot of time out of what already is a busy day for me to do these things. But I do them with the view of trying to spread that prepping self-sufficiency message, give people a bit of an insight into what is going on and things they can do to try and insulate themselves. It's not so that I get lots of money off YouTube, because I don't. I think my record is $20 in 1 month. That's my record. And usually it's around $12, $15 before tax, of course. So it's not for that. It's about content, messaging, and trying to promote the prepping self-sufficiency way of insulating yourself from potential disaster. And they are coming. I really do think they are coming, and some, as I say, are already here. So enough of this. It's turned into a long cabin chat. Didn't really mean to do that. There are other things that I wanted to talk about, but as I said, I'll put those in a different video. So let me crack on. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you later on in the video. Just have a quick run round so you can see what's happening with all the various planting. Not a great deal of change. Strawberries, sweet potato, still coming along very slowly now, though the weather's changed. Cabbage, massive growth coming on the cabbage. Very pleased with those. Huge leaves here, as big as my hand. So pleased with those. The last little batch of potatoes hanging in there. I did see some shoots. Oh, there you go. Look, there's a little shoot there. I don't think it likes the temperature though. Raised beds polytunnel. Not much going on there now. You'll know that I cleared out last week and refilled the beds with fresh compost out of my composting bins. And polytunnel, again, not a great deal going on. Carrots awaiting harvest, just hoping that they get a little bit bigger. And the potatoes suffering a bit with these cold temperatures we had this week, but they're hanging in, which is all that counts. That's my little tree cuttings. I'm going to pop over at some point and do the bees. It is starting to get a little bit warmer for them. There is a tiny hint of sunlight just peeking out above the trees there, but not a lot. But I do want to get that done, just in case we get some more rain. They won't take too kindly if I open that up and it's getting wet. Here we go, greenery for the chickens. And as usual, the little red one knows to hang around Oh, look here, the cockerels come in. Watch my fingers, you. Well, that's them content. Oh, even the little grey ones come in, look. Oh, cockerel's done his usual trick, calling them over. They are funny birds. Well, we've got a little bit of sunshine now on the field, so I'm just going to quickly take the opportunity to have a look at the bees. There's something you don't see very often, is me in my beekeeping suit. I'm just experimenting with this camera for front facing and rear facing, just to see if it works on the video, which hopefully it does. Bees are all busying themselves, all congregating round the front of the hive as they go in and out and in and out. I've got my little accoutrements, so I'm going to get the camera set on the tripod, and you can take a little look and hopefully see what I'm doing. You know where it is really though, you've seen it in the previous video. Well, I don't know if you can hear that in the background, that's one of the local farmers going about his harvesting. Now we've got this little bit of sunshine, it's bringing everybody out. I've got people on the bridleway walking up and down, I've got farmers' tractors. But let's take a little look at the hive, and I'll get this chemical treatment put in. As usual, it's a bit stuck down. They're still having a go at the inside building. I don't know why they do that on the roof, but they are. There's a fair bit of activity in here in this top box, and again it's stuck down. I'll try not to upset them too much as I move this around. Look at this, they're all over this queen excluder. Certainly a lot more moving out onto the top than previously. It's a little bit stuck. I'm trying desperately not to upset them as I do this. The centre section is really well stuck down. The art is to try and do it without squashing or disturbing too much the bees. As soon as you nudge it, they get a little bit ruckusy. That's the old chemical treatment that I put down. So I'll just get rid of that, and we'll get some new stuff in. Certainly plenty of activity in there. Let me just pull the camera so you can see a little bit more clearly, or I hope you'll be able to. Can you see how they're joining the frames together with the little honeycomb? I hope you can see that. Of course, the art now is getting it back to where it was. Right, let me try and get this done quickly so I'm not upsetting them too much. I've got my chemical treatment strips, so we'll just, as we did before, put them in the corners. And hopefully that'll take care of them. So this is week 3 of 4. Come on, out the way. Try and get them all back inside so I can get this queen excluder lid put back on. I think that's as near as, damn it, in the right place. Put the top box back on. They don't want to go back in. Yeah, I think we're about there. Alright, get the lid back on. Got a few strays on the top. And there we go. Job done. Well, that's everything put back. Bees seem quite content. They're still just going about the business in and out of the hive, so I've not upset them too much. Well, here we are in the chicken coop with my bucket. It's a mucky job clearing out after these chickens, where it's got to be done. But on a positive note, I've got another 2 eggs in there, and I've got another 4 eggs in there. So they can go with the ones I got this morning. I'll do that first before we do anything else. So 11 eggs, bargain. Right, let's get this mess tidied up. Well, that's the nest boxes with some fresh bedding in. Everything's cleaned up, a little bit dusted around the floor, food and water topped up. Oh, job's a good one. Just adding to the compost pile over there. Chickens are all just chilling, look. They're wondering if I've got any more greenery for them. I have, but I'm not going to give them it till tomorrow. Well, I'm just doing my rodent control checks. The tractor garage, nothing at all since I first put them down, which kind of tells me they're not in here, because that poison that I put in the corner there as well, that's not been touched at all. The others have definitely been touched. You'll have seen I put a post in the community tab. So I'm going to go around and fill these up because they're out of bait. In fact, the bait has gone from that one completely. have to try and find out where that's gone. One of the traps has been taken away completely. There were two here, and well, chickens, why are you fighting? Yeah, two of these. One's emptied of bait and had a mouse in. The other one is gone, completely gone. Something's taken it away. So I'll get those topped up, and hopefully we'll get some more this week. Bait's gone out of that one as well. Not quite sure if they're actually interested in this homemade stuff or not. Hard to tell if they've been in there. We'll just leave it and see what happens. But let me go and get my peanut butter, and we'll top up the traps. Well, that's the traps refilled, so fingers crossed we'll have some interest. I was hoping that we're going to start eating this homemade stuff, but I honestly can't see any signs at all that they have. But anyway, it's early days yet. Keep plugging away. Well, that's it for this video. Short but sweet today, I'm afraid. But the reasons for that will become apparent over the coming weeks. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you, and if you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, I welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Pop on the community tab and just put your little vote in on that poll I've put out. Give me an idea of what it is that you do or don't like. And similarly, any comments that you have, they're not just for me, by the way, they're for everybody that views the videos. So any top tips, tricks or suggestions you've got, any news you've got, please do feel free to share that in the comments section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.